What's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a very special video for you as we are going into a brand new hemp and CBD distribution store where one of my good friends is the COO, and we get to interview the owner and him and just get a feel for what they've got going on, what CBD and hemp are, and how exactly they can help you. Chad has been one of my friends for years. I met him at a local event called Live Well Willoughby. They have a bunch of local wellness companies and people to come and really advocate on bringing wellness to the community. And so I'm super excited to get to interview him today. He is somebody that I trust so much in the field. He's very knowledgeable, he's so personable, and somebody that you just are lucky to be friends with. And so I can't wait to introduce him to you today. So on that note, let's get started. Introducing you to the owner of the hemp spot, Brian, and a little bit of your backstory. Like, how did you get started doing all this?
So I started off about 6 years ago. Even further backstory, I started off in the wellness industry. So I had a personal training company. As I was training different clients, they had leaky gut syndrome, so the inflammation of the gut, and experiencing lots of discomfort. So I stumbled across CBD, was introduced to it, didn't know much about it. The person who gave it to me didn't know much about it. Like, well, it's supposed to be really good for you. I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be good for you. So I started doing some research, and it showed that it's good for inflammation. I'm like, well, there might be something to this. So I gave it to my clients. Within a month, they started to feel less discomfort. And they started to lose the last couple pounds that was essentially just all inflammation in their gut. So I'm like, there really must be something to this here. So I became evangelical about it, and I started to do a lot of research. From there, I started bringing on a brand of CBD and started distributing it. And my personal training company started to take up a lot of time, and I had to decide which one I want to do, right? And I decided to go with the CBD route. I wanted a platform to speak off of, to tell people about what hemp is and what CBD is. So that's where HempSpot came. So it's a platform to really speak off of. It wasn't really actually meant to be anything that's going to be very lucrative. It was more so that I had a distribution point to talk about hemp, CBD, and all its benefits. So that's where HempSpot started, and now it's evolved to be a little bit more than that. So that's when Chad and I got together, and when COVID happened, this is when this store actually came about, and COVID it changed everything.
That's awesome. And I think especially being an entrepreneur during COVID means evolving and innovating in ways that you never thought you could before. And so that's like a true sign of someone who knows what they're doing and takes the ball and rolls with it. So honestly, credit to you, because that's amazing you were able to switch with such little time and opening it at the same time. And then I also want to introduce one of my friends, Chad Gurley, who is the COO of HempSpot. And do you want to kind of give your story on how you got involved here as well?
I mean, Brian and I have known each other for many years now. It dates all the way back to high school, but there was a long gap of time where we didn't really know each other, or we didn't really talk. But then we actually ran into each other at a business setting for the chamber, and it was just not seeing each other for so long and just connecting there. And then from there, we just stayed in contact for quite some time. And then, obviously he's had his years in the fitness industry. Myself, I got into the wellness industry, I would say, with Live Well Willoughby. And then obviously getting also and becoming a partner at a gym. And then earlier this year, we got together, and I mean, I have an extreme belief in the benefits of CBD, and now a newfound appreciation for hemp being in our food system, that we just connected and resonated again and thought this would be a good idea to work on together and bring this to life. I mean, as Brian's given the background on the business itself and where it came from, his story as a whole, I mean, I know that he has a deep knowledge, and I could see that where he was coming from was a good place where we wanted to help, I guess, and I mean, we know that when we were talking about CBD, it was like we could offer it at a more affordable price for people, because of his background and because of what he's done all of his life. And to me, it just made so much sense to help out with that project. I mean, our background together, and just something about life has us continue to be tied together. So
now that we've heard your backstories, let's talk about what is CBD and how is it different than hemp for someone who's never heard of it before in their life.
Think of, for example, an apple. So you have an apple has vitamin C in it. Well, hemp has CBD in it. So you can have your vitamin C, or you can have your vitamins and minerals, everything that's inside of an apple. Well, it's the same thing as with hemp. You can have your CBD, there's also terpenes, there's hundreds of other cannabinoids inside of it. CBD is just one component of it, and then it has lots of health benefits. And with CBD, we've extracted it, and now we have it in a concentrated form so that we can dose it in different amounts, whether that's 10 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams.
Makes sense. I like the way you put that and the comparison to the apple and vitamin C, because I didn't understand it like that until you painted that picture. So that's awesome. How would a person know what the best dosage is for them? And is that something like they could come here and get, or is that specific to them?
So it definitely is specific to them. So, and as far as figuring out how much someone should take, every person's different. Your physiology is different than my physiology, so what works for me is not going to work for you. What you're using it for is going to be different than what I'm using it for. So it really depends on multiple factors. So weight and what you're using it for. And yes, we can definitely help you figure out what the best dosage is for you. We have software that we can walk you through, so you can figure out, okay, I'm using it for pain in my right shoulder, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 10. I can barely move. I weigh this much, right? And then we're going to walk you and consult you, figure out how much you can take to start off, so you can find a starting point and then move forward from there.
when you talk about like dosing, right? I know that there's a certain amount that I take on, let's just say, a regular day, but like because CBD helps, and we'll talk about the benefits, but like because CBD helps with inflammation, a day that I would do like MMA or something like that, I increase my dosage because I know I've done some damage to my body. I've exerted energy a lot more. And there's things that I think over time, and that's the part of the education process that we talk through with people. Is like there are recommendations, but it's just like anything. Your body's going to fluctuate, right? And how you process it because of what you've done that day is going to be important. So I think that the one thing that we're continuing to find out is that people are feeling out their process even after we give them their recommendations, and it's a natural thing, at this point in time to do something like that.
Yeah, and that's why I think someone should come to a store like this where they can necessarily tell you, here's the software we have, here's the research behind it, versus someone going to the gas station and just blindly buying some that they don't know how many to take. So benefits, what is it good for? The CBD and hemp separately, or is it together?
So You definitely want to have it together because I mean,
Okay.
it's going to be like a 1-2 punch.
You find that like some people will come in here and like I have arthritis, some people come in here I have anxiety or I have pain or I have this or that, and really what this is doing is feeding a system to allow your body to operate more efficiently and optimally. So someone may come in here for anxiety, but next thing you know they come in and they've told me that their feet were swelling before, they're not swelling up as much because it's just allowing your body to operate more efficiently. And I think that's a part of where we come with this is that it's at the end of the day, like the reason people hear all these things about it is because it depends on what's going on with your body and what's going on in you. If someone's got leaky gut syndrome, it's helping them with that. But if someone's got high anxiety, it's helping their body just handle that anxiety better. But it's also fair to say that I think that an individual who comes in here thinking of this as and believe me, I think that this is doing miracles for people, but there's also other factors that we have to take into consideration and just be real with ourselves about it, right? If you're coming here with anxiety, this is going to help, but you've also got to take into factors that may be causing that anxiety in your life, right? And those are everyday conversations of people that come in here, they come in here for a problem, and it's actually, because of our wellness backgrounds, and we try to instill that in the people that will be working here as well too, is that we always know that there's more than one spoke on the wheel, right? But this is a major spoke that we're finding. That's really what this is. This is a key component, and it could be what's helping now balance things out for people, right?
Yeah, the endocannabinoid system, or for short called ECS, is the most important system that we have in our body. It regulates everything that we have, right? So, and CBD feeds that system. So you can look at the system like you have holes inside your body, right, that have been depleted for years. Because hemp used to be in our food chain, right? So it was fed to cattle that grazed on it. We ate that cattle, and then hence it got into our system. So for years, since Prohibition, it was taken out of the food supply, and now where people are experiencing what's called endocannabinoid deficiency, which is those holes I was talking about. They have been depleted for years, so they're associating that with ailments. Right, so high anxiety, ADHD, epilepsy in all different forms, right, and many, many others. So those holes that have been depleted, once you start taking CBD, it starts filling those holes up. And once you fill those holes up, that's when the good things start happening, right? That's when you start experiencing the true power of CBD.
It's so interesting you say that because I am a physical therapist assistant. I went to school in the medical field. We learned about every single body system except the endocannabinoid system. And it's crazy that they don't teach that, and that's not something I learned about until after college through my own research. So I'm really glad that you highlighted the benefit of that. So just because I like to do a full-rounded, a well-rounded review, are there any, for anyone watching who's maybe a skeptic or they're not getting, maybe they've never heard of it before, are there any negatives associated with taking CBD, eating hemp, and how would a person know to look for them?
Eating hemp foods? Absolutely not, right? There's very few allergies to hemp. I'm sure they're out there, right? But there's very few known allergies to hemp foods. So there are hemp proteins, hemp flour. I suggest everyone and their mother consume hemp products, right? And now CBD is not going to be for everyone. But definitely, hemp food products are for everyone. It's a superfood, jam-packed with nutrients, good fats, good complete protein. It's definitely something that's going to help your body, right? And if you're trying to gain muscle or lose fat, it's a go-to for sure. It's great for post-workout. Now, as far as CBD goes, there's some research coming out that it does interact with some medications. So unfortunately, a lot of the doctors don't know about it, but there are medical marijuana doctors that you can talk with. They're more aware of the drug interactions.
I think that it just depends on what your expectation is, right? I mean, I think there's the conversation that we have often with people between the plant that it gets confused with, marijuana and hemp, right? Because they are both cannabis plants, but one is got high concentrations of THC and maybe limited to small amounts of CBD, versus that's the marijuana side, and then hemp being the more high concentration of CBD and very trace amounts, if you're looking at using the full plant of hemp, of actual THC, not enough to really even matter. It's not going to get you high or anything like that, but I think that as we continue to evolve the science around the cannabis plant as a whole, we're finding that there's other cannabinoids that might be beneficial to somebody, right? There's so many out there. It's just that we've just touched the surface, and it's beautiful to be seeing some of these things because as we evolve, I mean, we have conversations about it all the time about these other products that have different cannabinoids in them that are being found for more specific uses, right? And I think that now we're at a point where information is becoming so much more widely available. Countries are looking at it across the world. I mean, if people really want to see good research, I mean, the United States has got some decent stuff, but Israel's where they, if I'm not mistaken, is where they found the endocannabinoid system.
Really?
So, and they've been studying it since '91. So, I mean, they've really, I mean, a lot of research comes from them. So, if people are looking for information that, you know, is supported and they've done a lot of documentation, now I know you could speak to that better than I can.
Dr. Raphael Mechoulam is who discovered, don't quote me on that one, who discovered the endocannabinoid system. And ever since he discovered it, it's drawn a lot of attention. So it's like I mentioned before, if you don't remember one thing about this, that is what you need to remember and really look into. And hopefully physicians moving forward are going to be taught this in schools so they can really understand it as well. As I mentioned before, CBD is not for everyone, but I do truly believe that we can use it as the same way you would use a multivitamin. Chad brings this up all the time, and he calls it vitamin CBD, right? So, which is not, it's not, I would consider it a technical term, but the concept is very accurate.
Yeah.
Use it as a supplement for your body so you can perform at your best level. And highest
That's
level.
awesome. And it's awesome that it's something you can take in addition to your regimen already. What you're doing, it's not like, you know, something that you have to take a certain amount of times. You just a little bit every day. So I think that's all the questions that I have. Let's get to some taste testing. We're gonna taste test some of the bars we have here. Okay, so we're gonna try 2 flavors of each of the different companies of bars that are offered at HempSpot. These are both protein bars. They're 2 different packages, 2 different flavors. We have, is this hemp?
Hemplete, yes.
Oh, I like that. We have cashew berry and peanut butter.
Yes.
Hemp bar, we have cookie dough and
This one is the brownie chip.
brownie chip. Ooh, yum. And I'm
Yes.
someone that likes a good protein bar as a dessert, like after a meal. So this is like right up my alley. So
These
let's
are
do a little.
definitely, yeah, for sure.
Here we go. This is cashew berry. So far, texture I like. I like a little bit of a, this looks like the perfect bar, and I kind of like that texture to it. Oh, I like it.
That one has 2 different berries in it, so cashew berry. That's strawberries and blueberries in it as well.
Yes, I'm not mistaken, yeah.
And hemp protein.
It does not taste like protein, which I hate when a bar tastes like protein. It does not taste like that. And the flavor is subtle. That's really good. I don't know. This is going to be a hard test to do all of them.
You'll be fine.
I'm glad you started off with that one. So that's definitely subtle. These ones are going to be like, well,
No, peanut butter one's still
Power
pricey.
punch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have
These ones are gonna be.
you're going to have a party in your mouth.
Yeah, for sure. I'll switch that out there
I feel
for
bad just
you.
biting into these.
Oh, you're good. You're
All
fine.
right, let's try the flavor of this one. The color's a little funky. I'll give them that. It's a little funky of a color because it's like a pewter almost. Not overly, like the peanut butter isn't jumping out at you, but I definitely like that one better. But that's just my own personal
Fair enough.
preference.
I mean, I'm right there with you. This is mine too. This
It's
is my
good.
jam.
It's a little bit, it almost tastes like a mix of almond / peanut butter, like a mix between the two almost. But I really like the texture of this one. So we got brownie chip
Okay,
and
I'm
chocolate
gonna have you try
chip.
the brownie chip
Yeah, we
first,
gotta
'cause-
save, we gotta build up the hype for the
Yeah,
last
the
one.
chocolate chip, I mean, I don't even need to hype it, trust me. Oh, now I'm having trouble opening it for you. There you go.
I can never get these things open.
Ah, there you are.
Okay. And the other one had, you said 14 grams of protein, and this one has 12, so just a different comparison. This one looks like a true, like, candy bar.
Oh, I know.
Like the texture of it.
Got the nice crunch. Oh yeah, I hear it. I like that, yes.
Wow. This is definitely more dessert-like. Wow, that's really good.
And oddly enough, like comparison, you're only talking 4 grams of sugar in that compared to 3 in the other. So like, yeah, it's.
This does not taste like that. And I've had a lot of these kind of bars. Wow. I mean, 3 and 4 is both really low.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great alternative to a candy bar after you eat dinner or something like that.
I would agree. I don't disagree with you. There you go. There's another one here for you.
All right, this is the most hyped up one. You're so
ready
good.
for this? Are you ready for this one?
I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it. All right. So it does obviously look like a chocolate chip bar or a cookie dough bar because it looks like a little bit of that cookie dough texture. Oh man. Definitely my favorite.
Well, yes.
Definitely
yes.
my favorite.
Hands down.
Wow. And looking even at the packaging, looking at this cookie, like it tastes like how this looks, if that makes sense. And I love a gooey, like, I don't know if the right word is savory, but it tastes truly like a dessert. So, I don't know. I liked all of them, but I think cashew berry and cookie dough are my favorite. I don't know that Brooks Brownie was right up there with it. You guys
Brownie's
did
a good one, but
yeah.
the chocolate chip, yeah, I don't know. It's both of our favorite.
You guys did a great job picking flavors for these. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for letting me come in and just ask you all the questions. I hope that everyone watching takes a second and considers where they're getting their hemp and CBD from, and definitely support local because we love wellness companies that are popping up on the east side of Cleveland. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Okay, here's a little rundown of what I ended up buying. Obviously, this was my favorite bar that I tried. I also got mocha chip because yum, and brownie chip because I loved that one. And then I'm also going to get a couple of the cashew berry bars as well. I didn't grab them today, but I'm going to. I need to start using some sort of sauce on my corn vegetarian chicken because it's tasting too bland. So I got this. I don't really know of any like healthy, good for you, wholesome ingredient barbecue sauces, so I'm really excited to try this one. And then protein powder, because I have yet to have good luck with protein powders. Either I don't like the taste of it or it doesn't agree with my system, which has happened over like 5 or 6 different kinds of protein. So I am about to try this guy right now. I want to show you the back. Here is all the words like vegan, complete protein, non-GMO, nothing added, blah, blah, blah. And then there are 17 grams of protein in this. I usually aim for 30 to 40 a meal, so I will have some eggs with this as well. But that's really good for a protein powder, and the fact that it's healthy and good for you and there's like no sugar and blah, blah, blah. I just want to put a little PSA out there. I have tried a lot of different kinds of protein, and I'm very conscious of the ingredients that goes into them. And I'm telling you honestly, a protein powder cannot be delicious tasting, super good for you, no sugar, lots of protein. Like, you essentially have to trade one for the other. So with this, it's unflavored. So I'm hoping that this is as good as I'm hoping it'll take the flavor of my smoothie, which I talked to them and they said that it will. Like there's 0 grams of sugar in this, and there's 4 grams of fiber and 17 grams of protein, which means if this was not this company, if I didn't speak to someone before I bought this and got like the rundown of it, I would look at this and assume, well, there's good protein in there, there's no sugar, so probably the flavor is going to be the thing that goes. You have to be careful that a drink is not too good to be true, because if it's all of those things and it tastes like a dessert, it's probably a lie. And so that's why I think it's important to be mindful of where you get your products from. Obviously the hemp bars that I tried earlier at the hemp spot taste like a dessert and they're good for me, but I also know exactly what's inside of them and I know that they're made well. So be careful when you're going somewhere and you get a smoothie that it's not like loaded and jam-packed with sugar, because oftentimes they are. These are the ingredients going into the smoothie. Also, while we're here, enjoy my pumpkin pie plate. That's so cute from Hobby Lobby. So this is all that I'm putting in my smoothie, so it should taste pretty fire. All right, guys, here we go. Cheers. that's good. It's honestly very unflavored. Like, I cannot tell there's a flavor to it, but it does add a richness that I enjoy. Like, it essentially takes the flavor of the oat milk that I have in here. Oh my, that's very good. Definitely the best tasting protein that I've ever had, and I was not expecting that because of how many good things are in it, and I just gave you that whole spiel about it can't taste too good. Like, this definitely tastes healthy. I'm not gonna bullshit you and tell you that it's like, tastes like cotton candy, but it tastes very enjoyable. It's not earthy. It kind of smells earthy, but it doesn't taste like it, and by that I mean like it came from the dirt. Oh yeah. If you're not a protein person, like I don't particularly enjoy protein powders, this is for you. Slab on some frozen blueberries, some oat milk, you got yourself a meal. All right, we got a new test subject trying out Doozy Pots. This is the chocolate raspberry swirl hemp infused healthy ice cream. Let's see what it looks like. Show us the top. Okay, looking like a whole snack.
The old chocolate raspberry swirl.
This is his favorite kind. This is my boyfriend, by the way. Say hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, what are we thinking?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Got some really tasty chocolate.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Ooh, that's cold. It's good. I don't love it. I can taste that it's a little healthy. Like, there's a little, like, flavor in there. Like, you can taste the hemp a little bit. But I'm kind of funny about ice creams, gelatos as a whole. I would say out of the healthy ones I tried, it's probably the best one. I'm just not a huge fan of healthy ice creams, but he seems to like it, and he's pretty picky, so.
Well, I mean, that'd be different.
Yeah, you can, it's healthy, but when you're getting a healthy alternative for dessert, you have to expect that it's probably going to have the flavor of whatever healthy item is in there, because it's supposed to. It's supposed to taste like it. If it was truly dessert-like, it would have garbage ingredients.
Yeah.
So all in all, we had a great experience, and I'm curious to know which item you're most excited to try. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks, guys.